G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. That is correct. We're finally back. The 1v1s are back on the menu. Don't worry. We're not doing FFA forever. FFA was definitely the flavor of the month, but look, it's been a month since Season 7 came out, so I figured, well, I think it's time to finally give it a little bit of a rest. Jump on to some 1v1. What do you guys reckon? I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are as well. Let's introduce our players for today. Spawning in the north of the map, opening with a double scout on Joan of Arc, playing as the orange. It's Beastyqt. That is correct. This is Beastyqt, despite the name. Do not be fooled, even though his name in Chinese does mean beast. He has to use a little bit of a pseudonym here, mainly because he's been playing a lot of FFA. Obviously, everyone's enjoying it at the moment. And if you don't have a pseudonym and you're playing FFA and you're well-known or a good player like Beasty is, people are going to pick you off. It is only natural. We've seen Beasty in the FFAs recently. We watched a game from his and, well, it didn't go too well for him. There was just people focusing him immediately. Well, subsequently, he's switched his name again. Anyway, let's introduce our second player for the day. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the color teal, playing as the Japanese. Sitting at rank 29 on the ladder. Definitely Conqueror 3, I can tell you that much. It is our Chinese friend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. This is Gorge. If you're enjoying this Age of Empires 4 content, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and leave a like down below, because I know that if I don't ask you, you're probably going to forget. So thanks for hitting that button. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect today, or maybe we can talk about the fact that we don't really know what we can expect today. It's been a long time since I've taken a look at 1v1s. I remember some stuff. I remember what the meta was like, but a month is a long time to be gone in terms of the meta. I'll tell you the last thing I remember when it comes to the meta. Number one, it's that the Japanese love to go for a fast castle. And if anything, this is going to be supported by the fact that our Japanese player is currently on gold. That means he's not on stone. He's not going to be looking for a second town center, because that is quite a common thing that we did see players do. Especially those Japanese ones, they would go and take stone nice and early on in lieu of gold, because they'd get that free gold generation, just in the same way they are getting free stone generation right now by taking gold, though it's not as much. So that definitely points to this being a fast castle. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tower on the front, maybe towards the top, because one of the things that I expect that we'll probably see out of Beasty is going to be a tower rush. When it comes to Joan of Arc's got a number of different ways that you can play her, at least the way that it used to be. Number one, it's going to be a two town center style that you can play, so opening up with a single knight, and then putting on pressure with normally ranged Joan, and then at the same time going for a second town center behind it. But the other option is that you go for a tower. You can also look for a tower and a second town center, or you can just go for a tower and then follow it up with something cheeky. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a second town center that we see coming out of Beasty to follow it up. So landmarks are now starting to come down. Kura Storehouse is on the way. The School of Cavalry on the way for Beasty. Both players looking to age up. And we do see quite a bit of sheep here coming home for Beasty on Gorge. This is always nice to see. It might not seem like a lot of sheep. I mean, this is a lot of sheep, right? Especially for Gorge. This is so much sheep. Beasty's going to be swimming in food. Swimming in sheep? It's going to be looking a little bit New Zealander if I don't say so. Yeah, look at that. That's a lot of sheep. It spreads them out all nicely. 13 sheep under the TC. Not only does he secure that food for himself, he also denies it from his opponent. So opening with the double scout here, kind of interesting to see that he's been able to do that and yet still age up so fast. Look at this timing. I reckon we could be looking at about a 4 minute and 5 second age up here. He's also starting to work down the outpost on the front of the base. The big question for me here is whether we do see that aggression. So we'll take a look at Joan of Arc. As soon as that age up comes through, expect her to begin moving towards... Oh yeah, look, you can already see the rally point. He's going to look to start off with a tower rush, which is very intentional, not intentional, very smart, very cheeky. That Beasty is going to be looking for this. At the same time, we're going to see that Royal Knight now coming out. And it looks like the meta hasn't changed too much since we've been gone. We can see that now the arrow slits is going to be coming through. So Beasty's going to be looking to get a tower down, and it needs to be pixel perfect. So when we see that the arrow slits is now through, that's going to increase the range of these defensive towers. But at the same time, Beasty wants to put a tower down where Joan of Arc is not going to be hit, but the tower will be hit. But the villagers underneath here will be hit with the arrow slits. It's a very specific spot. So I would be suspecting probably around here, just because the second tower is now coming up as well. And if Teal wanted to, he could just rush the tower up and then deny Joan completely. So Beasty has to placed this down just at the right spot. And you can see that it looks like it might be pixel perfect here. I think if he went one tile in further, he probably risks Joan being attacked by the outpost, and subsequently you can't get the tower up. But here, he's going to be looking to try and deny the gold. We see the first knight is down here. Let's check in with Beasty and see whether he's opted for a second knight. He has indeed. And we also see a second town center looking to come down for him as well. So pretty standard stuff here, and it really feels like, you know what, we haven't even been gone, have we? I'm recognizing everything. Beasty got to be careful though. The knight is tanking up the damage, uses the scouts underneath, but he wants to try and keep them alive so he can garrison the scouts into the outpost and utilize them as those extra ranged attacks. See the second knight now starting to come across. The scouts now going to jump inside. Arrow slits immediately researched, and beautiful composition, not composition, but beautiful macro here, because he's going to be going for that second town center, but at the same time, he's utilizing the fact that he's on that stone to be able to get those arrow slits. So there's a really nice synergy that's going on here. Now I'm going to throw that knight inside the outpost as well. Just a nice little way to keep it safe until inevitably you do get that chivalry technology. I was very fearful right then that I was going to hover over the School of Cavalry and chivalry wasn't going to be there, and I was going to realize for the first time in history that Joan of Arc doesn't get chivalry, something silly like that. We've got some attacks starting to come through. It looks like the first villager kill of the game will go down, but it's going to cost him a knight. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. If there's anything that can be said, though, it's that pandemonium is currently inside the base of the Japanese. This is a really tough spot. It looks like that villager, I'm 99% sure that villager could have collected enough gold to age up. You can see right now he's at 562. He's going to move it back. Okay, I think that's what he's going to do. He's just going to keep one villager. What's going on here? Really? Really? We're going into a rat. Ooh. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. This is something that I always talk about whenever I'm coaching on Patreon. It's very much, you know, keep your eye on the prize. You're not going to be able to take down this outpost unless you significantly invest resources at this stage of the game. You could try and bust it the exact same way that he's doing right now. But as we see, Beasty puts the fortifications on. He makes sure that this outpost is not going down. Keep in mind that not only does it get extra health, it also gets extra fire armor, which means that these villagers, they used to be doing 10 torch damage, but you halve the damage that they're doing. So not only is there extra health that you now have to burn through, but there's also half the damage that you're doing against that outpost, which means that it's a very, very difficult proposition to accept. Let's check in now with the Kura storehouse, see how he's doing. Interesting to note the position here, but I think that's probably about the best spot you could go. It's unfortunate that it wasn't one tile further away, that wood line, but yeah, you can see that he will be missing out on a couple of farms here. And for me, personally, my obsessive compulsive disorder goes absolutely crazy in here, but I guess that's part of the reason why, you know, I'm not 2K rated like these guys here, because very clearly obsessive compulsive disorder does not matter for our Japanese friend at the moment. But second TC is now coming down for Beasty in the north of the map. He's got the deer coming through here as well. Plenty of deer. I'm suspecting he'll look for survival techniques if he hasn't already. He does have that discount, and we do hear Concentrate coming back here. What was it into? It looks like it was into the town center. He does have the opportunity to also hit Concentrate on the second TC as well. Definitely some decent value there as well. It might not seem like a lot because it's 25% of your town center, and villagers aren't really that much food compared to, say, something like Royal Knights. But the thing is, you're making so many villages, it always makes sense to do it. So just getting the Consecrate nice and early onto both of those TCs, it's kind of like playing with fresh foodstuffs from the Abbasids, but not as good. It's kind of as good, but yeah, you get the picture. Looks like we've got some military units coming out here for our Japanese player. It's going to be a handful of spearmen and a couple of Onabageisha. He's going to be moving north. I'm curious to see exactly what the plan is for him. The second town center for Beasty's already up, so he's not going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. And I'm kind of curious where Beasty goes from here, whether he looks to continue making units in Feudal Age or whether he just goes up to Castle. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye out for. But speaking of keeping eyes out for, Beasty manages to keep an eye out for his Royal Knight right there and keeps it alive with that Divine Restoration. Very clutch heal right there. Waited until the very last second. Looks like arrow slits now going to be coming through, and you can see that our Japanese friend is on the gold. Hold your horses, hold your horses. He's safe. Look at that. I knew it. I could feel it. Look at the pixels. Look at the pixels on your screen, guys. How damn close is that? That's ludicrous. And you want to know what else is ludicrous? This right here. He's going straight for the gold. The outpost gets up just on time. He's thinking about having a siege. Says, you know what? It's probably not going to happen. And indeed, it's not going to happen. What about the timing on that? If he had lost this gold, have a look at Beastie's position on the minimap. There is absolutely no gold on this eastern corner of the map. Everything is towards the north. And it could have been a very easy shutdown right there for the Japanese player if he managed to come through at that timing. So very well read by him, very, very well spotted to know that he could actually go for that and look to counter on the gold here. Let's take a look at what he's scouted out from this map. So it looks like he's scouted pretty much everything, which definitely would indicate that, you know, if we can lock down that gold, we could be in a really good spot. I'd love to see him bring up an outpost or bring up a villager or two and throw down an outpost over here. That would be very, very annoying to deal with from Beastie's perspective. But have a look at this. Looks like we might have a bit of a bust breaking through down this outpost. Doesn't really do anything, to be honest, though. But, I mean, what else are you doing with the units at the moment? Nothing really. Meanwhile, behind this, it looks like Beastie might be thinking about going Castle Age. Now, there's a lot of units here, which kind of scares me a little bit. So, what does Beastie plan to go into? Let's say, hypothetically, he goes Castle Age. What does he go? Men-at-Arms? Maybe? Mass Archer, I guess. I guess Mass Archer. Maybe he goes Veterancy and then just gets a whole bunch of archers. I guess that's what he does. Like, you want to counter the unit that you see, not the unit that you think. And so, the Archer technically counters both of these units. The Honor Beastyqt, it's probably a little bit more subjective. Maybe not subjective, but it's up for a little bit of debate. But we do have walls starting to come up now. Beastie doing his best to try and close out this position to stop any potential attacks from coming through. He is being harassed by Ayyubids infantry, but fortunately, looks like we do see the Japanese player moving towards that north side. The town center is definitely going to be under threat here. This is a huge amount of infantry, not to mention that we've now got horsemen coming out here. Looks like a villager is going to be going down. That's 2 villagers now taken out for the Japanese player. The third one also about to get caught. Town center's got 7. Guildhall gets cancelled. 3 workers now taken down. Joan of Arc on the back. Town center under pressure. And Beastie trying his best to hold on in this game. There are so many damn units here. He's got the Guildhall going up in the main base. Meanwhile, the Archer mass continues to build. I think he's going to lose the second town center. And I think he knows he's going to lose the second town center. The question is, where are those villagers going to go when that town center goes down? He needs to try and find himself a little bit of time here. He's getting a little bit of experience as well, but look at the numbers coming through from the Japanese player. Talk about decent flexibility right there from him to demonstrate the fact that, you know what, I was going to go for a fast castle, but I can mix it up. I can switch things up and I can punish you. I know exactly what you're up to, Beastie, on the other side of the map. Town center, it looks like it will be going down. There are too many units here. We start to see more upgrades. That's going to be Hizukuri coming through as well. Beastie's lost 11 workers so far this game and brings that villager count back in line with the Japanese player. The only difference is that military count is significantly greater for him. Age up about to come through on a Beastyqt, on villagers, on the gold. And now underneath the main town center. Beastie's got to be careful. Joan of Arc on half health. She's still got a heal that she can pop. No, she's already popped it. 90-second cooldown. Guildhall, it could be under pressure here. On a Beastyqt going to move forward. He's going to have to pull them back. Beastie underneath the town center, trying to hold on desperately. Villagers unable to build that Guildhall. I don't think it really changes much, even if he is up. Needs to keep making units. He's got double archers in production. Plenty of resources in the bank to get a knight out, maybe. But he's going to continue kiting. Joan of Arc doing her best. Has that divine arrow in her back pocket. 2 of them, actually. She could look to throw them out here, but I don't even think she's going to need it. Beastie with beautiful kiting here, manages to stay alive, doesn't lose the landmark, does lose the town center though, so it is a bit painful, and the villager count has really started to take a hit. He's lost 17 workers, and Joan of Arc manages to get the level up with 12 health remaining, and now once again, villagers under pressure. Beastie doing his best to try and stay alive right now in this game. Villager count down to 36, holding on as hard and as fast as he can. He's got the ability to now start one-shotting these units. Good night, sweet prince, he says. Oh my lord, he is calling it very, very close here as Jones minions come out. Jones champions come out, and Age 3 arrives. Wow. Jeez Louise, talk about a difficult thing to cast. I tell you what, that's a little bit less relaxed than the FFAs. The FFA is definitely much more relaxed than that, at least early on. Far out. Talk about high octane. Now, where does Beastie go from here? I feel like he needs to throw down another town center, but if you do that, like, I don't see how you play this game out without adding in another town center, right? Like, to me, it just makes so much sense to get that next town center down. But how does he find the way to do it? Like, look at what the Japanese player is doing at this stage. Keep in mind, Beasty's got the scout back home, but he's a little bit confused. Is he looking to go castle age? Is he going to stay feudal and just keep massing up units? So I think Beasty, the right thing to do here is just keep making archers. Oh, a little bit of a miss micro ride there with that knight, but continues to move forward. He's so fortunate that Joan of Arc managed to stay alive. I can't believe how well he clutched that survive right there. She was on 12 health, man. One more shot from an Honor Geisha and she would have gone down. Maybe 2 more shots from an Honor Geisha. They do tickle. They just tickle very, very fast. They tickle, tickle, tickle like that. Every time they say tickle, that's more damage that you're taking. Now those minions are going to start moving forward. Another Royal Knight coming in from the top side, looking to do a little bit of blocking. I'd love to see Divine Arrow coming out more against these horsemen. Maybe I just missed it right there. Moving Joan of Arc back here, trying to get behind the walls if he can find this. This is going to be a beautiful little spot. The Honor Geisha are going to have a tough time hitting through that wall. They've got a pretty decent hit range, but unfortunately not enough to deal with this. Upgrades are starting to come through. We got +1 ranged armor coming through now for our Japanese player. We've also got +2 melee attack. Keep in mind they do have +1 in the Dark Age, +2 in the Feudal Age. And of course, when you've got that nice little bit Bannerman running around, you've got an extra 3 damage. Vil's now going to start running for dear life. He's already lost 20 workers this game. Beasty might have to think about maybe looking for a bit of a counter raid or something. Joan of Arc's got to be careful. She's towards the front, and you can see just how powerful these Honor Geisha are, chasing away the army of Beasty. Beasty running for dear life right now. He is so confused. What is going on right now? All these units are absolutely destroying my archers. He's holding on though, continuing to defend under relentless pressure from the Japanese, trying his best to keep the units alive. Look at him struggle. My gosh, he's kiting constantly, but he just can't seem to build up a mass. He needs to get that second town center up, but he can't find position to do it. Look at the villagers. The villagers continue to fall. He's lost another 5 villagers and now chasing after the remaining villagers on this wood line. He looks to try and find a connection. Beasty now with the veterancy on these archers. No +1 ranged attack through just yet. Guildhall with food inside of it. Beasty holding on. It's a struggle. He's making it work, though. He's trying his best to keep it together. Vil's now going to be going down on the gold. Who is Beasty facing off against? This guy is incredible. Or is this just the Japanese? I tell you what, this is like a classic case of, you know, you tower rushed me, and you've poked the dragon, and now I'm going to start breathing fire at you. And maybe it was a bear that you poked, and instead of breathing fire, he's very, very scary because he's a bear. You understand where I'm coming from, right? Like, maybe we should have just let this guy go castle age. Oh no, the villagers have been found. There's no gate here to get through onto the backside either. Beasty is up against a person who looks to assassinate every single villager. He is quite literally facing off against Japanese massacre, and now Beasty does manage to get one back on the other side. Look at this, villager kills coming through here. He's taken out 11. Keep in mind, he obviously started off with only 1 or 2 villager kills. There are plenty of vills around the map to take. The only thing that is really holding him down are these few archers that are remaining back in the base. As long as he can keep them alive, he's going to be okay. And you can see he's going to regroup now. Needs to continue kiting. Town center is getting so much value this game. I tell you what, I would have loved to have seen a +1 ranged attack just to help out with the town center. And finally, Beasty cleans up these forces. The big thing for Beasty this game, and he's identified at 100%, is just getting villager kills on the other side. If we can take out enemy villagers, that's how we get back into the game. We can go for a second town center, but the truth is, going for a second town center is something that we need time for, and we don't have time. It's very clear we don't have time. So opting for, in this case, just a whole bunch of knights and looking to try and get some raids in definitely makes a lot of sense. And you can see now Beasty going to have to throw down that mining camp again. Keep in mind, Joan of Arc have to pay full price for their mining camp, their lumber camps, and their mills. Unlike the French get that 50% discount, but of course, the Joan of Arc don't. Have a look at this. Got some very forward positions right here. Now, keep in mind, the longer the fighting goes on like this, the better it is for Beasty, right? Because Joan is going to continue picking up... What happened here? Did he just fire off at the horseman? Yeah, he fired off at the horseman. Because Joan is going to continue picking up experience. Villagers are down here. He's going to throw the gate through, jump in onto the other side, and hopefully keeps himself alive. Meanwhile, towards that west corner, looks like all the villagers that were out here on the boar are going to be staying alive because we've got outpost after outpost. Really, Beasty's facing off against a defensive master right now. Like, this guy knows exactly what to do to keep these villagers alive because Beasty in this position needs to take out enemy villagers. The only thing is, he can't do it because the Japanese player won't let him. There's just outposts absolutely everywhere. Lumber camp going to be coming down as well, and so smart to be putting the lumber camp down here because you've already got the outposts there. So you might as well utilize those outposts. But now a big mass starting to come through on this backside. We've got the men-at-arms, Joan's champions at the front. Joan going to try and pick them off one by one. You can see her just focusing them down with the divine arrow here. She's got one left in the tank, but gets the heal off. Plenty of archers here, holding on for dear life. As long as Beasty continues to kite, he's going to be absolutely fine here. The numbers are looking very good for him. Pulls the villagers back. He's lost 35 already this game. A deficit of 15 at the moment. Needs to keep pulling the vills back, but the vills have all run in through the wrong way. He's lost a whole bunch, about 5 or 6 of them. And meanwhile, the kiting continues. But I'm really starting to worry about that villager count. Beasty now down 20 villagers at this stage, just against an absolute insane Japanese player. This guy is incredible, man. I am not going to lie. This is some next level harassment that we are seeing here. So much pressure he is facing right now. It is like Beasty has been thrown into a pressure cooker, and the Japanese player is just... He's cooking up something delicious with Beasty. Oh, geez, Beasty. Get out of the pressure cooker, Beasty. You want to find yourself a nice relaxing time with the second town center. Now, if there's something that is going on for Beasty, it's this right here. We got 1,500 resources in the guild hall. Very nice. The longer he lets this sit, the longer he lets this cook, the better it's going to feel. Tries to pick off some more villagers. Not going to be able to find it. More pressure now put towards the front. The Japanese player are very happy to just stay in the feudal age. Second town center now going to be coming down for our Japanese friend as well. This is where it gets difficult because this is something that Beasty won't be able to scout. You can see right now, Beasty's got no idea what's going on in the Japanese player's base. Is there a second town center? Is he going castle age? What's the plan there? How many vills does he have on gold? That's normally a good indicator of if they're going castle age. If you see 10 vills plus on gold, then that's a good indicator. Hey, he's probably going castle. And we do see there's 3 vills on gold here. Down towards the south, there's a lot of vills on gold down here. 10 vills on gold. So probably going to see an age up coming through shortly here for the Japanese player. And now the question is, how does... Oh, gosh, Beasty under pressure once again. Needs to get a wall up over here. The villagers trying to escape. He gets them out the top side. Keep in mind, the Ayyubids are just going to eat them alive. It's so incredible watching those Ayyubids just work so well to take out those villagers. 43 workers taken out this game. Beasty trying his best to hold on right now. It feels like we're in the Thunderdome. Really, the way that he's playing it, like, it is just constant pressure. This Japanese player is next level when it comes to this aggression. Beasty holding on for dear life. More archers now towards the backside, looking to defend. So far lost 47 vills. Now, hypothetically, let's say Beasty somehow manages to find his way into 2 or 3 knights. Where does he put them to find success? Definitely down here. That is for sure. Can't really do much up here, and he knows about this position. So, to me, this is where the underlying story is. How does Beasty find a way back into this game? At all. Is there any way he can do it at all? I think that's the big question for me. It's like, he's lost so many workers. The guild hall is probably his best way back into it. Maybe? Is there a world... Okay, hear me out. Where you gather... Oh, see, that's crazy. I'm thinking about Hail Marys right now. I'm like, can we just go and gather 1,200 gold and pull all the food out and just go put, like... just put it down right here, like, you know what I mean? Put the red palace down on this front line position. Try and take out both of the landmarks. I'm thinking about Hail Marys here at this stage of the game because I'm starting to feel like maybe he might need it. This is incredibly impactful so far from the Japanese player. And now he does find space to get that age up through. He's definitely kept the foot off the pedal for the last couple minutes, and he's given time for Beasty to build up. And now we start to see a big, massive archers building. And so naturally, what's the counter to that? Well, mounted samurai is definitely going to work. What do we see on the other side of the map? There's double stable Yorishiro. Where you going, Yorishiro? Let's take a look and see. Looks like it's going to go into the barracks of all places. He's going to go into the barracks. Now we could look to go mass samurai, and there's the knight. Exactly what Beasty needed onto the gold. He's going to be delaying any of those upgrades from coming through by taking out the villagers on gold. More units starting to move forward here. Beasty with quite a decent mass. No +2 ranged attack just yet. With regard to the upgrades, he's just sitting on +1s for now. Only got the melee upgrade as well, obviously. No real need for ranged upgrade at this stage. He's only playing against a melee army. But veterancy now comes through. It's going to be veterancy for the Ayyubids that is picked up here. Beasty beginning to push forward. Knight's got to be careful not to get picked off. It looks like it will be going down here. Joan of Arc also here. I'd love to see what her experience is. I'm sure you guys will remember that I used to have the ability to check the experience of Joan of Arc. I used to have the ability to do split screen and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, my 4090, it's been having issues for like a couple of months now, and I just finally decided, you know what, like we gotta do a warranty claim on on this bad boy, because I just can't do it anymore. For anybody who was wondering what the issue was, basically what was happening is that the fans would, so I would be in game like this right now, and it would be fine, and I'd go to the main menu or I'd quit the game, and all of a sudden the fans would hit 100%. You would hear them go, the screen would turn black, but I would lose all my visual, so like the screen turns black, but I keep all my audio. And I googled it, heaps of other people having the same issue. It was complicated, nothing that I could find online fixed it. But hopefully Beasty finds a fix right now for this Japanese problem he's got. Joan of Arc manages to stand on the front. He's going to continue looking to pick off those horsemen. And you can see the power of Joan of Arc right now when it comes to dealing with these annoying horsemen. The ability to just pick them off whenever you so choose to. But even here, the number's pretty decent. Heal comes through. Meanwhile, behind this, Beasty got a nice little knight down here. It's just looking to pick up villagers. Joan of Arc gets level 4. 25 minutes into the game. Keeps her alive on 10 HP. Beasty, how do you do it? Twice in the same game. Manages to keep Joan alive. I don't even think she's gone down once this game. Hand cannon comes out. She's now got the ability to call that inspiration if she so chooses. This might be what turns the tide in this game. Beasty now up 39 military against 10. Wow, I can't believe he's doing it somehow. Again, he's lost 53 workers this game. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it looks like he did pick up a handful of villager kills over down on that south side. I can't believe that Joan manages. How does he do it, dude? 2 times in a row, right as she's about to die, he manages to keep her alive. And now beginning to siege down the outpost. You can see how much damage she does right there. Gee, she hits like a truck. Plus 200 against buildings. You know, everything was going fine until Joan of Arc hit level 4. Now we've got a problem. Look at that beautiful stallion that she rides on. I love the armor that she's got. What an incredible hero unit it is. You know, I remember when Joan of Arc originally came out, it was very controversial. People were saying, oh, they shouldn't get a hero unit. Oh, now we're playing Dota 2. I'll be honest, I kind of like it. I'm curious what you think, though. It looks like Beasty did indeed take the resources from the guild hall, found himself 3,600 gold. Not a bad little bit of, or rather 3,600 food. Not a bad little bit of food to find. More attacks now on the south side of the map. Jeez Louise, I tell you what, I am impressed with Beasty's control this game. He has been incredible right now against this Japanese player. It has just been something else. And now we start to see Daimyo Mena's now going to be upgraded here. He's already got the first Daimyo Mena in. Second one going to be coming through as well. Look at the farming economy that we're starting to see. A little bit of a Wallalol to defend the wall. Probably won't be able to find it. And Beasty now going to start stonewalling towards the north. Such a smart move here as well, because this is where the golds are. So as long as you can keep the Japanese player out from here, then you should be fine. And you can see, look at the Japanese player just taking Beasty's gold as well. Not really Beasty's gold, but the gold on Beasty's side of the map. Second TC finally up again for Beasty. The only problem is he's down 49 villagers. Keep in mind he's lost 53 villagers this game. So he's done very well to last this long, considering the deficit. I will be honest, that is an incredible deficit, and somehow he's still able to keep his head in the game. Mounted Samurai now going to start coming out as well. They're up to 4 at the moment. Keep in mind, Beasty does have the ability to just Divine Blast their ass, and so he does. Wow. All right, well, things are about to get absolutely ludicrous. Keep in mind, Beasty's also got the cannon that is out. He needs to pull villagers just in case the units look to go for it. But it looks like he's going to keep it nice and safe underneath the town center. Cannon is online. Looks like we might have some units beelining towards it. Manages to take off we'll take out a couple of shots. Meanwhile, towards that top side, more villagers now going to start going down. The Ayyubids are absolutely fearless when they do this. What's the word that I'm looking for? Ruthless is the word I'm looking for. They annihilate the villagers. It is incredible the power that those Ayyubids have, because they might not have a lot of attack, but they have such fast attack speed. It is so damn quick. And now Joan of Arc going to start moving forward. Looks to get that hand cannon off. Does find it. Meanwhile, more rallying towards that top side. Beasty looking to get walls up here. but has only managed to secure 3 out of the 4 walls that he did originally desire. Joan now going to be moving up towards that northern position, spots out the enemy units, and you can see the value that you get from those mounted samurai. More vills on the run. Ayyubids has found them, and oh my god, this Japanese play. Please, stop going for the vills. Please just fight me head on. Beastyqt is actually facing, what's the term right now? I feel like we're watching Rat Dota. I know we've already talked about Dota once this game, but I feel like Joan of Arc goes down. We are watching Rat Dota. Rat Dota is the type of Dota where people are just always like pushing the base, but doing it on the edge of the map. They're not man fighting you. And now, speaking of man fighting, Beastyqt, he's going to be man fighting his villagers up against these Ayyubids. Well, I guess it's technically more women fighting because the Ayyubids are women. Beastyqt losing more vills. This is incredible. This is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen Beastyqt lose this many vills in a game. It's so one-sided when it comes to the villager kills. Like the pressure that we've seen right now from the Japanese play is just incredible. The Red Palace, he's looking to try and get it up, but Beastyqt down to 28 villagers right now. I tell you what, he doesn't need a Red Palace. He doesn't need an Elsbach. He needs a Swabia. A Swabia is what would save him right now. The only thing is he's playing in the wrong civilization. A Swabia would take him right now from 0 to hero. Well, it probably wouldn't, I'll be honest. The Japanese lead is pretty significant, but my question here is, how do you really leverage Imperial Age to win this game? I don't see it, especially with a Red Palace here. Now, if you pulled every single villager and went for a Red Palace in the middle, sure, I could see it. But a Red Palace over here, I feel like you're assuming that your enemy's been on 1 TC and they forgot to make villagers for 15 minutes. That's what we're kind of assuming with this. But he's going to try his best to make it count. Meanwhile, towards the top side, arbitrary numbers starting to build here. Does get the beautiful timing on that wall as well. Beastyqt is so good at the game. Jeez Louise, man. He is so good at the game. Now coming through, it looks like we've got the arbitrary numbers starting to build here as well. Archer's going to be on that backside. He's going to continue kiting towards the gate. Needs to continue moving here. Town Center also providing that cover fire. Age Up comes through. A lot of units towards this top. But you can see that the main focus is now towards the south side of the map. Beastyqt needs to get Joan of Arc back online. I don't even know whether he's got it yet. Doesn't have enough resources for it. So he's working hard to get Joan. It's such a painful loss right there to lose Joan. 1,000 resources. And I think that that's like a pivotal moment in this game. The moment that Joan goes down when she's level 4, it is so difficult. And you can see now the defense is going to be coming through here from the Arbalist emplacement. And Joan does return to the battlefield immediately. Beastyqt is a happy camper all of a sudden. He says, come on, you want a party? Let's do it. Beastyqt now, with Joan of Arc, looks to turn the tides. Down 80 villagers in this game. The question's going to be whether he can do it. Cannon firing off towards the cavalry on the front side. Beautiful sounds as well. God, I love the sound of the cannon. Just, it's so much more fearsome than the bombard. Well, I guess the Great Bombard's the true king. This is a tough spot. Beastyqt going to try his best to hold on. I think maybe a 3rd TC could make a bit of sense here as well for Beastyqt. That would be nice if he can get to it. I don't know if it would be possible. Maybe a keep as well. Needs to make sure this cannon stays alive. Needs to bring vills from the back here to try and repair this cannon. Cannot lose this cannon right now. Joan going to come up. Very well done to keep the cannon alive and does have the villager there to repair. Meanwhile, towards that top side, Ayyubids still getting chased and cleaned up. That's claced right there. Jeez. Wow. Despite the villager difference, the scores aren't that far apart. I know you're going to be looking at that and saying, oh, Drongo, I don't know, man. That kind of looks like the scores are pretty far apart. Then that's actually not that far apart, man. For a game where you've got like 3 times the villager count of your enemy, that's not that far apart. Like, you would expect at least double the score right now. And I think if there's one thing that's holding it down, the hero to save Beastyqt here, it's going to be Joan of Arc. Keep in mind, she does have Valorous Inspiration as well, which increases that attack speed. Arbitria and the archers yet to receive their upgrades, by the way. I think if you do look for the upgrades here, I don't even know what you go for, because you kind of want elite archers to counter the Ayyubids, but you also want elite Arbitria to counter the mounted samurai. Oh, it's tough, man. It is tough. All right, villagers up towards his top side. He's got plenty of space in the town center, but a couple of them will unfortunately go down. Keep in mind, the main thing that's going to be holding this down from a defensive perspective is going to be that extra... Where is that damage right there? There it is. 42 Arbalist damage that comes out. So as long as he keeps that alive, he'll be okay. Honestly, as long as the walls come up, there's a chance. He needs to get those walls up. Taganashima Gunsmith is coming online. Vill's now repairing the town center as well. As long as he keeps these Vills alive, there's still a chance. Beastyqt holding on for dear life. Joan's up here as well, continuing to clean up units. If he goes back here, he's into a dead end. Working to try and do it. Oh my god, look how big Joan is, dude. She's huge, man. She's like, she's on a horse twice the size of these guys. Meanwhile, towards the middle, Cannons are back here. Elite upgrades now come through for the mounted samurai. Needs to pull these vills immediately. I don't think there's a minimum shot range on these either. Now looking to focus down. The mounted samurai needs to bring Joan back immediately. You can see he's got her attack moving separately. Needs to... Oh, these cannons. I think these cannons might be going down. There's way too much damage here. He's trying his best to try and kite through. Not going to be able to find it. Splitting them up. Shot's going to come through. Still got Divine Blast available. Needs to find it. Meanwhile, towards that top side, more of them coming through. He's not going to be able to make the connection, and Beasty manages to keep one of the cannons alive. Not a bad attempt. Let's go with that word right there. So Beasty needs to get these walls up, man. Like this game has just been a case of like, you know, your opponent is pushing every single angle, and look at the positioning on the Taganashima Gunsmith as well. Talk about aggressive right now. Beasty is going up against one of the most aggressive players I've ever seen. This guy is just absolutely next level. As far as I'm aware, he's not a pro at the moment, but he is definitely he more than I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless right now. He has given Beasty a run for his money, but not just that. Like he's taken Beasty's money and then he's put it on crypto and he's quadrupled it overnight. Like it's impressive what he's done with the place. Meanwhile, towards the top side, or rather towards the east side of this map, Beasty's got a good little position here. Ozutsu firing off on the back. I don't like this fight for the Japanese player. It definitely feels good for Beasty. The fact that he's able to tank up the front here with these Zone champions, and you can see they've got their elite upgrades through. And indeed, it wasn't the right idea to go for that fight. Beasty going to be able to find punishment here. Meanwhile, those stone walls are going to come up. I'll be honest, I don't know if I really like the idea of these stone walls towards the top side. I definitely think it makes sense for this one, but these ones here... But I guess that's with Omnivision, right? We know that there's 2 siege workshops and a Taganashima Gunsmith right here. It's like, yeah, those stone walls, buddy, they're not going to be doing too well for you. Now, let's check in with Beasty and see how things are going, as the 3rd TC is indeed coming online. The only trouble is you're behind 100 villagers. That's a lot of villagers to be behind at 36 minutes into the game. I mean, that's a lot of villagers to be behind at any point in the game, right? With the exception of maybe FFA, where you both managed to pick up all the kills in the lobby. That's pretty much it. Other than that, though, it's going to be a tough time. And now Beasty, he's going to be able to snipe out the Mangonel. Keep that in mind. 130 damage or health on the Mangonel. Does 150 damage with the Divine Blast. You're going to see him come forward here. Looks to pick off the Mango. One-shots the Mango. Says, see you later, mate. See you, nerd. You just know he said, see you, nerd, right then. Oh, you can hear it. But the elite mounted samurai looking to try and clean this up. Mangonel looking to find one over the top on a Beastyqt. Slowly getting fizzled out now in place of mounted samurai and samurai, and Beasty just getting completely wiped right here. The Mango shot's not even coming through, and look on the backside, the Ozutsu just doing so much work. He's going to try and do a little bit of a heal, but finally he has found the way through. It looks like this might be it. The curtains may be closing for Beastyqt in this fight. It has been relentless aggression from his Japanese opponent. Today we have seen an absolute masterful aggressor who managed to make it all the way to the end with Beasty. I'll be honest, so many times in this game, I would have fallen. So many times in this game, Beasty looked like he was almost back there. But unfortunately today, there's no way he holds this. I can't see a world where it happens. He's up to 51 vills, but look at his opponent, 147. He's matching him 100% of the way. Mangonel's now coming out. He's max 200 vills. Oh Lord, 37 minutes into the game and I forgot to switch it to income. Hey, I'm sorry. It's my first game back. Give me a break, all right? Cut me some slack, all right? Oh, they're gonna be mad. Oh, they're gonna be so mad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, you resource per minute enjoyers. Oh, you poor fellas. You poor fellas. All right, so Beasty, how does he look for a way back into this? Royal Knights, yeah, I guess, but at this point in the game, the Vills can even take on the Royal Knights. Dude, they got +3 melee attack, these Vills. Like, you don't want to be messing around with those. They're cutting through the armor. I mean, to be fair, Beasty's... Wait, why does Beasty... He doesn't get Bloomery either? Dude, I'm learning so much right now about the differences between Joan of Arc and the French. Like, they're actually quite different, realistically. Like, they get a couple of similar things, but... Now Beasty's going to be looking to hold 18 military pop underneath the town center. A lot of mounted samurai, or rather elite samurai here. Villagers also coming up the rear. He could be looking for a keep drop. He's got 500 stone in the bank, so not quite enough just yet. But I guess he got a little bit tired and said, well, we were going to throw down outposts and farmhouses, but we just figured we'd join the battle as well. Meanwhile, on the back, the Ozutsu just teeing off on all of the production. And keep in mind, that's the production that's got that consecration. So that is really, really powerful building right there. But now the town center looking to defend. It really feels like this red palace hasn't got much value this game. It's almost like his opponent just completely ignored it. And while Beasty was able to have his opponent ignore these golds, in the end, it does not matter. Ladies and gentlemen, go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch him live. What an absolute game. Incredible aggression. Beasty was fearless in his defense, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, he's not able to pull out the W. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.